Few manufacturers boast a history that spans quite as long as Cadillac's, with over 120 years in the game and countless successful models under their belt. Mostly, Cadillac is famed for its mass-produced luxury cars, with the Escalade headlining the current crop, in addition to high-performance models, which adorn the Blackwing nameplate. However, in the past, Cadillac was perhaps a little more inventive and indulged in styling experiments, which led to several unique and impressively scarce models. The example we explore throughout this video comes from humble beginnings, based upon one of the more commonly found 50s Cadillacs. But this 1953 Series 62 Coupe was completely restyled into the rarest production Cadillac ever to grace the roads. While for the most part, Cadillac history is decorated with some seriously luxurious models which we are mostly familiar with, several elusive gems are also scattered throughout. One such gem is the 1953 Series 62 Coupe, which was based on a typical Cadillac chassis, but then completely redesigned by renowned coach builder Ghia. Famed for their beautiful and often European creations, Ghia was the perfect choice for helping Cadillac produce a top-flight coupe for the luckiest customers with the deepest pockets. This was never to be an exercise of mass production, as only 2 examples were ever planned for production, both of which survive today in superb condition. Underneath the gorgeous coach-built bodywork is an everyday Cadillac Series 62, so at least parts are easily available when it comes to the service and maintenance of these unicorn classics. Much of the history of these 2 cars is unknown, as virtually no in-period documentation exists today. However, it's largely believed that one car was delivered new to John Perona, who was the owner of Manhattan's El Morocco nightclub. This is easily believable, as he was a big fan and frequent customer of Ghia cars. The other car is thought to have belonged to actress Rita Hayworth, although no concrete evidence exists to put her behind the wheel, so it may just be a rumor. Being a luxurious Cadillac from the 1950s, there could only ever be one type of engine under the hood, and naturally, that would be a V8. Specifically, a 5.4-liter V8 which packs a 210 horsepower punch, in addition to producing 3 30-pound-feet of torque. In terms of performance specs, such things as 0 to 60 times and top speeds are unknown, given the limited production and intended purpose of this rarest of Cadillacs. However, it's worth noting that 210 horsepower was an awful lot in the early 1950s. This was a time when 100 horsepower was something to brag about, so while the figure seems low for today's world, it was an industry-leading figure at the time. As an example, the stylish and sporting Maserati 150 GT Spider from the mid-1950s had no more than 130 horsepower to play with. Besides, these cars were meant to impress in another way, by simply looking incredible. If anything, the curvaceous lines and striking proportions of the Series 62 Ghia Coupe looks even more impressive today than it would have in the 1950s. Despite only commissioning 2 cars, Cadillac decided that certain features should differ between both examples. Or perhaps the paying customers did, we can't be sure, as the evidence simply isn't there. Either way, they are both easily distinguished from one another, thanks to a selection of unique features. One car, which now resides at the famous Peterson Museum, is finished in a deep red color, but the differences don't stop there. The grille, for instance, features an egg crate design and is chromed, whereas the other car's grille consists only of vertical slats, and they are finished in a striking gold color, as are the wheels. Around back, the Peterson example has different taillights, a different rear license holder, and, back to the front again, a full-width front bumper. In contrast, the other example boasts a simpler look to the front, with only bumperettes instead. Arguably, these differences from the factory actually make each car a true one of one instead of a one of two. Needless to say, owning such a stylish and unique car does not come cheap. Sadly, the original prices paid are unknown, although there are recent auction records, at least for one car. Specifically, it's the black example with gold highlights which sold back in 2016 at an RM Sotheby's auction. The auction description describes how the car was restored by renowned specialist Mike Fennell, who is best known for his work on classic American cars and top-end hot rods. This, no doubt, helped the car achieve an impressive final price of $1,430,000, which was in line with RM Sotheby's lower-end estimates. As for what these examples would fetch today, it's anyone's guess. In order to put that price into perspective, Haggerty pegs a standard non-Ghia tweaked Series 62 Coupe at $52,300. That's an immaculate Concours condition, and specified with the same 210 horsepower 331 Ci V8. Any gearheads who are familiar with Cadillac will know that they're no strangers to a concept car or prototype. Concepts aren't always even realized in the material world, which is the case with many of these designs, whereas prototypes are usually only manufactured as one-offs, with no ambitions to ever make it through to production. The 1959 Cyclone concept is one of the more striking creations from Cadillac, boasting